All right, y'all. Welcome to the Train Your SLUT podcast. We in here for the first time. I'm very excited. We're going to go on a little adventure together with this. My name is the real Dom King, Dominant King, CEO, co-founder of Greyhouse Society out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And we do it big out here. We're an adult lifestyle concierge. That's how we started out. We throw some of the livest adult lifestyle parties that you could ever hope for. And this is a new adventure. I want to be talking about relationships. You know, Train Your SLUT is that's a powerful thing to say. You know, some people might be taken off by that, but I promise you, this is some real good-hearted shit. We're mostly about relationships. We're really trying to get into sexual growth, advancement, breaking down chains, and that's basically where you're at. So if you're listening to this, I really appreciate you clicking that play button and joining me on this little adventure that we're going to go on. Again, my name is Dom King. You can call me Dom. And let's get into it, man. You know, what I really hope for this thing to be is a guide of sorts. Not everything is for everybody, especially in sex. So take the best part for yourself, right? Extract the jewels. You know, if you can learn just one thing from this that you can apply to yourself for your own growth and development, I think that's going to be a beautiful thing. You know, when it comes to sex, nobody wants the same thing forever. Everybody likes change, which is why people are usually in and out of relationships a lot or changing partners. But it's not really about that. You know, you can do a lot of things with your partner, grow, get better, and you know, sex, you know, in the right context, your relationship can get better. You know, I've seen so many people over the years, you know, good relationships, two people who really, you know, probably loved each other, but people really grow apart, man, because, you know, some people just don't have it in the bedroom like that, and people are looking for more. They're looking for spice. A lot of people call it 7-year itch. A lot of people say it happens after 7 years. I don't know if that's really true. I mean, maybe it kind of happened, you know, to me. I'm 20 years deep. Me and my wife have been together for 20 years. You know, we've had our ups and downs. We're not, you know, I've done my share of fucking up. I'm a lucky man that I'm still married after 20 years of some of the dumb shit I did when I was a little younger than I am now. And I think those things happen because of communication, and people are scared to talk about sex. People have a lot of preconceived beliefs about sex, what should be done, what shouldn't be done, what's okay, what's not okay. And I think a lot of that shit comes from, you know, I mean, you're really living other people's thoughts and beliefs, man. Like, I think, you know, a lot of things that we think about sex, those things were taught to us by other people, right? And people from an age and an era where none of that shit was good, man. I mean, if you just go back to like, I'm 40, right? If I go back to my mom's era, man, I mean, we all know they was freaking, but it was all on the low and shit, right? Like, even the songs, you know, there's tons of songs about sex, but it's all coded back in the 60s and shit like that. And then the freedom, it kind of just continued and it continued and it continued. And here we are now, and it's time for us and our generation to start defining our own principles, defining our own sexual principles, and know that we can be sexually free. We can do a lot of things and still have moral, still be good people. We can still be righteous and still have sexual adventures, right? So, Even though this podcast is called Train Your Slut, I'm doing some training myself, right? This is a training of sorts for me. This is a coming out party for me in a lot of ways, right? I am going to be letting you guys into things that have previously been private, right? I have to open up and I have to share things with y'all that I might not have been comfortable at one point in my life sharing. So this is a growth process for me. We're going to go through all this pain together. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, we're gonna fuck, we're gonna talk about pussy and ass and all the things that you want to get into, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. I have a lot of support on our side, and Greyhouse Society is something that's growing. Most of the people who's gonna be listening to this first episode in the first place are my people, right? Are my society, are beautiful members. So I just want to give a shout out to each and every one of you. It's been a pleasure watching each and every one of you grow in your own experience and do your own thing. I've had a lot of people walk through our door, a little more conservative than what they are now. Let's just put it that way, right? And it's so beautiful, right? It's so beautiful. Like, one thing for my members out there, what I want y'all to understand, like in our environments and shit like that, is that, when it comes to our events, I've removed a lot of my sexual lust from that part of it, right? So for my members, I want you to understand that if y'all in the building and you doing your thing, or you having a moment or a time or an experience, like, I'm not really looking at you like in that sexual way. Like, I'm just more proud to be watching someone gain some of that freedom or have that experience, right? Like, watching, I once watched, I don't really like to talk about anybody's business, but but when I'm watching something like that happen, right, like a lady getting pleasured by a stranger or a couple strangers or whatever the case may be, right, I'm more proud of that shit. I'm like, yo, look at that. She did that. Like she getting it. Like she came, or, she's getting what she came for, right? And that's basically the way I look at it. So, that's basically how we do it. And let's get off into some shit here, man, because I got some shit to fucking talk about with y'all. Let's do this shit. Sexual awakenings. Let's talk about that real quick. I want to talk about the matrix pill of sex, right? So, again, this goes all back to belief, right? Why do we believe what we believe about sex? Why is one thing good and one thing bad? And sucking a dick is, you're less of a lady if you suck a dick, and you're less of a man if you like your booty hole licked or some shit like that. Fuck all of that shit, yo. Do you, man? Do what you like. Say, as long as it's safe and it's consensual, right? And there's growth coming out of it, and we're not using each other as fucking meat bags, because that's not what this shit is about, man. This shit is about exploratory willingness to evolve, right? And evolve past those barriers, right? So, do you want to be stuck in that matrix, or are you ready to really see the game? Okay. So with that said, right, as a dominant or as a dominant dude in a relationship, one thing it was really, really important for me to understand, and it took me a long fucking time to understand this shit, is that as a man, we don't own our woman. Listen, fellas, you don't own your woman. We always say it. That's my woman. She's mine. That's my pussy. That's mine. And we say it in sex and shit too. Which, yeah, I mean, of course, my woman is my woman, right? you know, right? But it's not an ownership. She's choosing to be in this, right? There's no ownership here. And fellas, we have to get out of that fucking mindset, right? We don't own her. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll be more free, right? And you really have to love her to feel that way. If you don't love her all the way, then you might not be able to ever achieve that type of freedom, because there's going to be some insecurity going on there, right? Like anybody who known me maybe 10, 15 years ago, right? And maybe I hadn't talked to them for 10, 15 years. And if they see me now, they probably think me and my wife done lost our goddamn mind, right? Like, what the fuck are these? Yo, did I just see her titties in that fucking video? Oh, like, is she, what the fuck? Like, people might be a little bit surprised at what they see out of me and my wife right now. But here's the thing. Me and my wife choose to never stay in the same fucking place. We grow. Like, nobody wants that shit, right? If you got married 6 or 7 years ago, and you still having sex the same way you did 6 or 7 years ago, you better start changing some shit the fuck up. People want new shit. You want new experiences, right? We want growth. We want development. But if your lady is just laying on her back doing some missionary for the 7th straight fucking year, that's a great recipe to get your man right on the fucking highway, or in Vegas, straight out the highway to Pahrump, Nevada, to go get you some skank at the whorehouse. Not that I have anything against sex workers, because I really don't. But, I'm just speaking from the heart, baby. So, the growth, the development, change, that's what this shit is all about, right? Like, most of that shit should be happening natural in your relationship. Just like, when we first get with a woman, it takes time to get to first base, the second base, the third base, or whatever the case may be, or however the courtship happens. And then you start to grow. And then the more comfortable you get with each other, the more you might be comfortable opening up and exploring something new. And it's really, 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 really important to share these things with your partner, right? Like, if you're in a relationship where you guys are dropping the L word, right? Then if that's the case, as long as you're not saying that shit to pacify each other, if you're saying it with purity, then you should be able to tell your partner the things you do and don't like, and some of the things that you want to explore, right? Which goes to my next point. Some of your fears, sexually, might actually be your biggest fantasies. Think about that shit for a second while I blow on this. Let's revisit that. Some of your sexual fears might be your biggest fantasy. Ladies, you don't want to share the dick, right? Ain't no other bitch gonna have no bitch is gonna have my man, right? Shit. Well, that might change when you see your man's dick sliding that other woman, and you see the look. If you really love him, you're not really watching his dick go inside of her with the jealousy and the envy. What you should be doing is paying attention to his pleasure. You should be paying attention to how much joy you're giving him by allowing some freedom, right? And if you guys really love each other, he doesn't care about her like that. I think that's one thing that's really important, when it comes to like sexually lifestyling and stuff like that, right? Is that you shouldn't be really mixing the emotions around too much. Right? Like, the emotions should be between you and your real partner, right? I've been around a lot of people who claim, polyamory and open relationships and shit like that. And most of the people that I've ever met around that type of shit, they're all kind of mixed the fuck up, right? Like, let's just call it what it is. I ain't really met too many people that's pulling that shit off the right way. The love is not conducive. They're not really building a happy home together like that, right? Basically, it's just a bunch of people getting a lot of emotions, a lot of shit, a lot of feelings are getting mixed up, and that shit gets ugly. So, a piece of advice to you, right? Like, because again, I'm mostly speaking, to people who have love, or long-term relationship, or some form of intimacy that's trying to grow. So, one thing that you shouldn't do when you're out there, kind of getting around with this, is don't mix up the emotions, right? Don't fall for the polyamory bag. Don't fall for that shit, right? Most of that shit's gonna be pretty destructive. So my advice to you would be just kind of keep it sexual, keep the sexual lane, and allow the growth and the intimacy to be between you and your partner. That's where that shit's at, right? Like, so me and my wife are in some sort of situation or fantasy or whatever, like that. The extra person in the cipher, or the extra people in the cipher, those people are working as like conductors between me and her, right? We're mostly paying attention to each other's pleasure than the actual fucking act that's actually happening. That's what's so fucking cool about it, right? Like, my wife's getting down. I'm looking at the way she's breathing. I'm paying attention to the sounds that she's making and the movements that she's making and her eyes and that type of shit. That's the type of shit that gets me popping, right? That's what gets it going. So, don't get mixed up in all this polyamory shit. You see a lot of that shit on social media. You see people flexing like it's all fucking good. But most of the time, man, I think a lot of those motherfuckers is a train wreck. And you know how people do on social media, right? People post all they good. Ain't nobody posting the fucking bad sides of that shit, right? But let me tell you, I've heard some fucking horror stories. I know some people that done got mixed. You don't want none of that, yo. You really don't. You really don't. Let me ask you this, y'all. Let me ask you a question while you're listening to this, if you're listening. Think about something that you kind of want to do sexually, but maybe haven't done. And then I want you to think about, is the reason that you haven't done it yet is because what other people might think? What will they say? What will they think of me? Will I be a whore if I do that? Will I be a slut if I let 5 guys run a train on me? Seriously. That shouldn't be the answer, right? Like, that really shouldn't be the answer. If you haven't done something that you want to do, the real answer of why you haven't done it should be like, maybe I haven't found the right partner, I haven't found the right situation to feel safe doing it, something like that. It shouldn't be what somebody else thinks about your sexuality. Everybody else has movement, right? Like, why can't we have a fucking movement? Like, I used to work, some years ago, in downtown Phoenix in one of the bank buildings on Central. And every motherfucking year they had a gay pride parade would come strolling down that motherfucker. That's man, gay people, they the happiest motherfuckers in the world, man. These motherfuckers, like, man, gay people are the shit when it comes to that. They own their life, man. They own their sexuality, man. And a lot of us in the straight community or whatever you want to call it, man, like, we haven't afforded ourselves that same type of liberation yet. Like, I'm talking about this fucking parade. There'd be floats. There'd be fucking dudes and this is middle of the fucking day. Like, 9 a.m. dudes in a fucking purple fucking G-string, pelvic thrusting and shit. Like, these motherfuckers is free. So it's like, why can't we be free with our shit? Why do we still have to have all these fucking chains on ourselves and on our brain? Like, why can't we be a little bit more fucking free without worrying what other people think? We still worry about what other people think about where we stick our dick, or, ladies, what you allow inside of your pussy and what we decide to do with our fucking genitals. Get the fuck out of here, man. Open the fuck up. It's all right. Everything's gonna be all right. We're all gonna be dead soon. I promise. It's important to create boundaries. Okay? As much as I'm saying be free, it's also important to create boundaries. Draw lines. Erase the lines. Draw them a little further out. Repeat the process. That's how we do this and grow the right way, right? So, like, if you looking to expand, if you're looking to do some shit that you've never done before, then take baby steps, right? What's the first step that you have to do to achieve whatever you're looking to achieve, right? Slowly expand the boundary within your comfort zone. You know, the one thing about when you doing adult shit is that it can't be undone. So you have to make sure that you feel good about doing it and that you're going to be okay in the morning, right? That you're not going to be a fucking train wreck. That you're going to feel, a negative experience in this shit is like worth 3 steps back versus a positive experience is always just 1 step forward, right? If you have a negative experience, you may never take that lane again, or you could really, hinder your growth. Trust me, I know. I teach from my own playbook. I say this shit all the time. I'm showing y'all from a lot of the mistakes that I've made because we ain't got no guidance in this shit, right? Like, what did we learn about sex when we was kids? Man, not a goddamn thing. We ain't learned nothing. We ain't learned nothing, especially about anything beyond just like, one-on-one, laying up, that's it, whatever, right? All this other shit, it's all become taboo, and obviously, and then there's social constructs too, right? Like, threesomes. Like the most common thing is dudes just want a threesome. They want to bring in a girl and have a threesome, right? But not even realizing how disrespectful that shit is to your woman, begging your woman for a fucking threesome all the time. I know countless dudes do this shit. They always pushing for the threesome. They always got a little something to say. They got a little poke and a little jab. I mean, I've been around people all the time, man. The dude will bring that shit up. And, you could just tell his lady is frustrated by that bullshit. I mean, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Why don't you give her a threesome first, let her get some dick, and then see how you feel about it. Let's put your big boy pants on, homie, and see if you could really get down. You sound stupid. If you can't do that, if you're not open to that, you're not ready for a threesome with a woman. Not saying that has to happen. Everybody's cup of tea is fucking different, yo. It's the point of the thing, right? It's the point of the matter. And as men in this shit, it's up to us. Like, fake fucking doms out there, you fake motherfuckers, man. If I got any of y'all listening, man, stop giving us a fucking bad name. Because a real dominant, the first thing a dominant will offer his sub is protection. You hear me? Protection, yo. This is what we do. My woman is my fucking world, yo. I can't keep my hands off of her. She's my life, right? Nobody could break our bond. That's what this shit is about. That's what's the most important thing. Nobody can break our bond. But what I offer her is protection. If you're not protecting her, if she doesn't feel safe, then y'all are on a fucking real path of destruction, yo. And you faking the funk. Being a dom doesn't mean you just tie up a woman or put a fucking collar on her and drag her around and shit and fuck the shit out of her. That's how she gonna wake up in the morning feeling 3 steps back, like I was just talking about, right? Listen, we offer protection. She's gotta feel safe. She's gotta feel vulnerable. It's about exposing the vulnerability. Man, our women have been terrorized. All right? Fucking terrorized. I mean, think about being a young girl from what? They start probably getting terrorized about sex from what age? I mean, some of them probably as early as 11 or 12, right? Like I know women who have told me that their cycle probably started around that time, right? I remember girls in the 6th grade that had fucking bigger titties than grown women I know now. Right? So you imagine the fucking harassment they get? Could you imagine the sexual trauma that these girls felt when they were 12 and 13 years old with double D titties? The fuck out of here. All the dumbass shit that little boys would do in school to these girls with these big ass titties and shit like that. These girls who developed fast. So you take a girl who's 13 and you fast forward her life till she's 20. That's 7 years of straight juvenile terrorism, right? And a lot, it's sad because a lot of girls will fall victim to that. Y'all have a lot of bodies on them by the time they 20. They done fucked the fucking handfuls of dudes, right? Because then what happens is the dudes catch on a little bit. They kind of start to understand what women want to hear, and then they start lying. Dropping L-bombs, making them feel loved, making them feel protected to get the pussy, right? I used to know this dude in high school. He used to tell every girl that he ever got with that he loved her just so he could fuck them. Every girl, every fucking girl. I probably watched this dude de-virginalize fucking dozens of fucking girls. That was his thing. He would just act like he was in love with them until he popped them. Think about the mental damage that does to the lady, man, right? And then, these ladies aren't going to really speak about that shit, right? So now they're in their 20s and their 30s, and you out there dating them, right? Think about the damage that's been done. And then you're just going to get in a 2 or 3 week relationship with a woman who's been through all this shit her whole fucking life. And now you're just going to dominate them, put a fucking collar on them and chain them up and tie them up and do all sorts of fucking crazy, filthy shit to them. Get the fuck out of here, man. If you really love that woman, if you really love your woman, or you really at least respect the woman that you're dealing with, let's take it that. Let's even remove the love out of it. Let's just talk about respect. If you at least respect the woman that you're dealing with, you should be offering her protection first. Comfortability, right? Respecting her body. Respecting her limits, because she's been fucking terrorized her whole life. As men, we don't really experience that shit. At least not me, anyway. I guess there's probably some guys who experience like an overload of sexual attention. I'm not really one of them, but we can't even fathom the fucking harassment and the sexual demons that go on in a woman's brain. Big Dick Nick, my engineer, my boy Ink. But yeah, man, like seriously, like our women are fragile, man. They're no matter how you want to fucking slice it, no matter how freaky even if she's saying all the right things, even if she's saying, yo, tie me up, do this, do that, spank me, fuck me hard, blah, blah, blah. Man, again, I can't say it enough. You gotta offer her protection. You gotta offer her a safe space to play, right? That's what this shit is about. And again, if you're talking love and respect with this woman that you're dealing with, then it's about growth. It's about growth, right? The more crazier shit that me and my wife end up doing in this shit, the closer we get. Like, that's the freedom in it. Like, we're unfucking breakable. We have an unbreakable bond. What could anybody offer that we can't offer each other? Nothing. Some dick, some pussy. Nah, we had that. We good. We can do that. But that shit ain't gonna break us, right? It's about the power, the shared energy. We gotta deconstruct that sexual abuse that they've gone through, that fucking terrorism, man. And we've all fucking done it. We've all terrorized our woman sexually one way or the other. You might not even think it. You might not think you're a sexual terrorist, but man, shit, I'm guilty. I used to do all that dumb shit, right? Like I've, I've asked my wife for threesomes and pressured her into that and shit when I was younger, or just not pressure, but but like making stupid side comments, or ooh yeah, you should give me some pussy and I deserve this, and man, we don't deserve shit, yo. Probably don't even deserve the woman that you're fucking looking at right now. Women are special, man. They're special. That's why they have all that sexual power. That's why they hold the fucking. That's why they hold the. That's why they hold the light. That's why they hold the weight of this shit. This sexual world, this sexual everything, none of it runs without the women, man. They have all the goods. Now, what we can offer as men to them is safety, protection, and an opportunity to grow and deconstruct all of that bullshit that they've been through their whole life ever since they got them titties or that ass or that pretty ass face, or decided to paint their eyes up a little bit, or just that moment when they started getting all that sexual attention. I don't think we think about that shit enough as men, man. We don't think about what our women have gone through. We're too worried being busy about it for our own selfish fucking reasons. Like, oh, how many bodies you got on you? How many men have you fucked before me? That's what they say. Man, that shit is corny and played the fuck out, yo. Like, how many, you know what I'm saying? Like, why do we worry about that shit? Who gives a fuck? Like, that's what we're most concerned about as men when we find a woman. How many fucking guys she's been with. I mean, man, the fuck out of here. We gotta be gentle with them. I take this training shit real fucking seriously. What I get out of it, again, is watching my woman be free. The expression of freedom I see in her body, in her body language, in her sounds, in her moves. That's where it's at. And if you care about your woman like that, if you're ever lucky enough to experience some of the things that I've experienced in regards to that, it's a beautiful fucking thing. Because not only is it freeing for her, it's freeing for me, because hindsight is 20/20, right? So, like, when there, if the current me could go back in time and visit the old me, and I'm trying to tell and I go to tell my old self some of the stories of some of the shit me and my wife have done, the old me would never fucking believe it. He would say, yeah, fucking right, over my dead body. But that's not the case. Because we grow, we change, we want different shit, and you get more comfortable, right? And you learn more about life. And you learn that you don't own your person. You don't own her, she doesn't own you. And it's like, when me and my wife to go to play and to do new things and experience new things in this world, it's a gift. You're gifting the person you love and an experience, and it's a beautiful experience that you can share together. And that's what we hope to provide, with the Greyhouse Society. That's why we started all this shit. We started all this shit because we were unhappy with the environments that we were finding in order to try to explore. So we want to help people be able to explore in a safe way that's fun, that's clean, that's sexy, right? There's shit out there, but it ain't for us. You feel me? And I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? And that's what we want to provide. We provide a safe space, and if you're a man or woman in our society, then you provide a safe space for each other, because our vetting process is something that we take seriously. We don't really want any bad apples coming through. Obviously it'll happen from time to time, because the wolves come in sheep's clothing. But in due time, those people will walk themselves out, and we try to make it as safe as possible. Again, sexy, safe, clean, fun, and we want you guys to be happy and comfortable. So speaking of Greyhouse Society, December 12th is coming up so fast. We're just over a month away. I think we're like 5 weeks away from the third annual Greyhouse experience. Down at we're doing the MTV Real World Suite on top of the Gold Spike Hotel. It's a fantastic property, 5,000 square feet of liberation going on. We got, man, we got a couple social media phenomenon who's going to be in the building. We have Face the Original out of DC, a lovely dance, perform artist. We also have another fellow by the name of Troy Time Touch, very viral for his massage videos. We'll have him for the ladies, right? Obviously, my Brooklyn X-Rated will be in the building as your superior hostess extraordinaire. Myself, Dom King, be in the building in the cut. I'm usually in the corner smoking blunts, just making sure everybody's happy. So come say hi to me when you have that opportunity. We're doing our VIP experience, starts a little before the night. We should open up the regular doors around 10 or 10:30 for anybody else coming in. We're going to try to keep it COVID safe as much as possible. So if you listen to this and you come into the event, I would appreciate if you would just follow as many protocols as you can. And, up the week leading up into the annual event, I would appreciate for everybody just to stay tight, stay locked down so you can come, have a good time. And we want everyone to be safe and have a great time this year. At the annual Penthouse Party. Now, if you haven't yet, my wife just dropped her new rendition of Michael Jackson's classic Dirty Diana. So she remixed that song, called it Call Me Diana. It's a fantastic video and song. The shit is the joint. It hits super hard. And if you haven't checked that out, I will drop that link in the comments. And also you can just look that up on YouTube. As well. A couple other things before I get out of here for this little episode. I want to talk about a little future endeavors, future things that are coming up for members only. So going into 2021, we will be launching Greyhouse Studios adult content. Right, so we get into the adult content world. So if there's any ladies in the society that feel compelled to want to add on content, get at me. We can make it happen. You can get liberated, throw some content out, and make some coins at the same time. You don't never have to feel cheap about making coins off your body. This is, we're trying to basically give a different platform from then just the classic like OnlyFans and shit like that. That's more for the pros, man, and we're not really about that. We're not the pros. We're just liberated people who like to have fun. So to get our content site started off, we are going to be starting off with, some very, very exclusive Brooklyn X-Rated content coming very, very soon. She will be giving you the goods. We actually filmed a couple of scenes this weekend right after the Dirty Diana video was shot, just to let you know the frame of mind. So we took that right after her video shoot. We took it over, to the next level, and we got some content there. We'll be shooting some more over the next several months, and hopefully early 2021 we'll give you a full launch with that, where you guys will have full access to her content, some of our other hostesses and other ladies who want to join in to that movement, providing a new platform for y'all to get at, right? So with all that being said, I think this is a good wrap for episode 1. Kind of where I want to be, what I want to talk about with y'all. I think as we move forward, more questions, more outreach to me, something I can bounce off. I'd like some more ideas. I'd like to hear from my ladies and my fellas out of the society on the types of things that you guys actually want to learn about. So that way, we can apply it A to the show and to the podcast, and B, we can apply it to the society and make sure we're providing the things that you guys need that's necessary for you guys to be successful in your sexual endeavors, right? But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. If you're listening to this, if you happen to click play, listen, check this out. If you happen to click play on this and listen all the way to the end, then I want to do a little something special for y'all, okay? So let's do it like this. What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? You know what? I'll save that for next time. I'm going to set that up, though. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here for the day. I hope y'all made it from the beginning to the end. I hope y'all got a little bit of something out of this. We're going to keep this thing going. I got to keep working this thing out. We're going to see where this goes. But I love talking to y'all. I appreciate every single one of y'all who's been rocking with Greyhouse Society since day one. Shout out to those who know who you are. December 12th, I will see you soon. If for some reason you don't have a ticket locked up, I don't really know if I have many spots left. If for some reason you really think if you're listening to this, you really want to come, get at me. Might be able to find a spot for you. And that's it. December 12th, Greyhouse 3rd Annual coming up. I will be talking to you guys next week. Train your slut. Dom King. I'm out. Peace.